Now let's do reverse engineering of a Docker file from an image. So you may find yourself in a situation where someone has created an image with a Docker file that you have access to, but the original Docker file has been lost. What will you do in this kind of situations? So you have found ourselves, so we might have found ourselves in this position on more than one occasion. Being able to recover information about the build steps can sidestep a lengthy process of rediscovering them for yourself. So in this case, let's take a problem statement of we have an image and we want to reverse engineer the original Docker file. So for that, the solution what you want to use is the Docker history command and inspect layers to try to determine what changes had been taken place. So although it is impossible to completely reverse engineer a Docker image in every case. You have a good chance of working out how it was put together if it was substantially created with a Docker file. Hopefully, enough of a chance to reconstruct the image sufficiently for your purposes. In this technique, that's Docker history technique, we are going to use the following Docker file as an example that I'll show you on the screen. Yeah, here you can see on the right side this Docker file we are going to use. So it contains as many as different types of instructions as we could fit in the shortest number of steps. You are going to build this Docker file, then run a simple shell command to give you an idea of how the technique works, and we'll finally look at a neater Dockerized solution. So let's write a Docker file for the same. So let's get into the action. Why to wait? Okay, before we begin this exercise, let me let me push all the Docker images that we have created in our last example into the Docker Hub. So let me check Docker images. These three. Okay, let me say Docker push cmd done. Access requested access to the resource is denied. Docker login. Okay, login succeeded. So let's push it. Okay, first image has been pushed, and similarly second image Docker push cube, this time entry printer and tag. So the second image also has been pushed. Now it's time to push the third image, that is again entry cmd print tag version 1. So let's get into that and we'll cross check. So this is my repository, and here you should see, yeah, all three. You could see that you should see all three. One, two, three. Fine. So that's it. This major activity is done. So now let me get into cd home ubuntu ls cd docker exercises ls, and then just come out of this and create reverse engineer mkdir docker rev engineer. So ls cd docker rev engineer. Yes, so nothing is there. Let me write our Dockerfile vim and begin with from, but before that let me get into the Docker hub, go to the explorer and look for busybox. Yeah, which tag would be better? Shall I go with the latest? Get into the tags first. Yeah, latest one is there, no problem. Yeah, we'll go with the busybox latest, absolutely fine, no issue. Okay, I'm going with the busybox and latest tag. Then maintainer is deprecated, but still I'm gonna give maintainer, that is cherry rams127 at the rate of gmail.com. Then env, so I just want to put uh, maximum instructions possible. So env, sorry, my env name and my env value. So I could just give name and value, but here I'm not mentioning that. So label, okay. What I'll do is I'll randomly give some env, will define env, okay. Label, this is team AI, and work there opt run, just want to run make there using parent and copied. So copy the docker file, just a minute. Yeah, docker file to the copied docker file, then run again mkdir p added, and finally add docker file and added docker file. Then let me run one more command, that is touch and tmp file, then add docker file, expose this to 80 and volume data, and on build touch it and tmp and build entry point. So our command, that is bin bash and cmd are recursive, and let it open for an argument. So now let's save this and build this image. So Docker build option T tag, that's cube churn reverse engineer Docker and version 1 dot and click enter. Sending build context add requires at least two arguments, but only one was provided. So vim Dockerfile, where is add, here it is. Okay, this is the mistake one. Let me get into that. Add Dockerfile and / hood dot. Okay, it's started building our image. So finally successfully built, successfully tagged. So now let me do Docker images. Here it is, Docker reverse engine Docker. So our image is up and our image is has been built, and with this tag id and with this, so all instructions has been executed. cmd. So now let me get into here. So we have built it. So now we have to reverse engineer. It's time to reverse engineer the Docker file now. So a Dockerized solution. So if you run this, the Docker in practice from the image, you can reverse engineer that. Okay. So let me get into that. And let me give Docker history and reverse engineer with tag 1. Here it is, here it is, here it is. Exact complete file with each command. cmd hello, entry point, bin bash, on build, touch, volume, data, expose, add file, add tmp, add file, p added, copy file, work there, label, env name, maintainer, cmdsh and add file. So almost okay, one is missing, that's fine, but each and every command that we have written, we can literally see if somebody wants to build, somebody wants to rewrite a file which is missing, which is a, if they want to rewrite a Docker file for a missing Docker file of an image, so Docker image, then you can literally use this Docker history command to rewrite the Docker image, Docker file for the Docker image. So now let me clear the screen and let's do more. So Docker history and let's check for others. Let's do the Ubuntu then and we'll see what's going to happen. Ubuntu latest, you see that cmd bin bash add file, then after that label org dot open containers of Ubuntu, then org launch pad build org and release. So similarly we will do it for, okay, Docker images, and we can do it for this also. Let's Docker history and cube cmd. Yep, here it is. So whatever we have done so far, cmd echo Hare Krishna, and what it has used bin bash and add file a label. That's because from here it's Ubuntu. From here, the first command is the last command that we have written in our Docker file, and these are from base Ubuntu image. So all these commands has been pulled, and similar thing can also be done for the other containers. I hope you will do it, and I will take a leave from this session.